Here we go. I'll jump into my.
Wait.
I am. I'm pressing the wrong button. It's all good. I'm out of there before I make any trouble, I think. So of course we've got Bean Sports in the blue and UEC in the orange here. It'll be the usual bit of back and forth at the start of every match. These teams trying to figure each other out a little bit. It's Wolf's Blood.
I'm just trying to watch like positioning on both teams at the moment. Just trying to figure out what they're trying to do, like strategy wise.
It's Tello on the break now, pushes it, just goes wide. Sorry to interrupt you there. Tricklo now pushing forward. Tobinator up in the air, misses that, but falls to Wolf nicely and push forward. But yeah, positioning is incredibly important, and Wolf putting UEC on the board.
Yeah, he just waits here on the edge to see if he can clear it. Like to see if Resurrection, I'm pretty sure it was on the backboard, to see if he could clear it. And then in the end, it was just a free goal for him. So.
Fell nicely for him just to put away there.
Yeah.
It's Chowie getting the advantage off the kickoff here, but quickly cleared to the blue end by Tobinator. Resurrection now. He'll try and push this forward, but blocked halfway by Wolf's Blood. Just a bit of back and forth at the moment. UEC just looking to hold their lead.
That's a weird bounce there. What is going on?
And this could be a break for Bean Sport here.
Yeah.
Doesn't manage to get on the end of it though.
It's 2-on-1 there, but you couldn't take it. You couldn't take it. Use it to his advantage. And that's actually a really bad clear as well there.
Yeah, it's just going to fall nicely for Tello to attack again. And Resurrection trying to get on the end of this one on the backboard, just misses out.
Tello popping it over, getting it past Tobinator, I'm pretty sure it was, and now Resurrection trying to center, but try. I don't know how to pronounce that name quickly, but I will. Squad getting the clear, and now Tello recentering it. And it's cleared by trichlormethan.
Trichlormethan, but yeah, it's definitely Bean Sport are definitely putting on the pressure here. They're trying to get themselves back into this game, but UEC defending all this very well.
Yeah, they've got a nice defense at the moment. I mean, it was one mistake from Bean Sports, but then again, that's all that can separate a team sometimes. It's one mistake, and then that's it, you've lost the game.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That could be the difference.
Wolfsblood trying to push this into the danger zone, cleared out by Chowie. Tello might be able to get on the end of this and send it long, but it's going wide.
Yeah, because just then, that was a mistake just then on UEC's part, but they couldn't take advantage of it, because that's the thing, you need to, whenever the opponent makes a mistake, you need to be able to take advantage of it. Because if you can't, then obviously you're not going to score, and then you're not going to win the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think rotation's incredibly important at this level, making sure you've always got that one person back and not having teams double commit too much and leaving big openings for the other team to take advantage of. And yeah, as you say, it just takes one misposition and one misclear to give the other team the lead in a game like this. Resurrection's going to try and play this on the Chowie. Oh, almost links up that pass.
Bean Sports were in a bit of trouble then. All three had to commit for the clears, but Chowie actually did well to get rid of it in the end, just to provide time for his teammates to get back, to rotate back to net and get boosted. And now UEC are trying to get something, but a good interception by Resurrection.
Nice flick.
But Wolf's Blood, what a save!
And Chowie had the open net there, but it's off the post.
Oh, another. Oh.
And this is still dangerous for UEC.
Tobinator gets it clear in the end, and then Tobinator again. Now it's just back and forth, but then Chowie or Resurrection gets that away.
It just seems like Bean Sport are just desperate to get themselves into an attacking position, but they're just being shut down over and over again on defense by UEC.
Oh my, that was really close. being a goal there, so try. I'm still struggling to say that name.
Just shorten it and use the start of it. That's usually the best way to do it. And Tello with a good clear. Just, I think it was very calculated touch just over the crossbar. I think that is what he was trying to do, but it was a pretty dangerous thing to do. And into the last 10 seconds now. Beansport need to do something quick to keep themselves in this one. Resurrection might be able to do it. Chowie manages to keep it alive. But Tobinator with a good clear. That's going to finish this game off. And UEC will take game number 1. And they'll put themselves on match point. If they take the next game, that'll be them through to the grand final, where they will take on the lower bracket winner later on this evening. And all these teams are ready to get into this next one. Yeah, just looking at the stats, 4 shots to 4 shots, 2 saves to 3 saves. Everything's pretty close stat-wise. And yeah, like I said before, like looking at their ranks, they are quite evenly matched teams. And I mean, the 1-0 scoreline says it all for that game.
Yeah, well, it's a good game at the moment, but it's just like, as I was saying before, it's just all down to the mistakes and taking advantage.
I mean, you find that in ranked at the top of the diamond level. I mean, mistakes are punished as soon as you get into this kind of higher level of Rocket League, even though it's not the top level. Once you get into this this higher level of Rocket League, mistakes are punished really badly, and you have to be able to play with a really tight team to be able to, especially in tournaments like this. These are not just players of this rank, but they're players who are comfortable playing with each other. And yeah, you need to get that that good positioning down and the good rotation down to be able to succeed well at this level.
Yeah, because obviously if all teams know each other well, because you won't be having people that haven't been playing together for at least a certain amount for some amount of time. So everyone's gonna, like, if you don't have the basics at least down at this level, then you're obviously not going to be able to compete. But these two teams at the moment are teaming.
They all seem to be communicating well and linking up well together, and that, I mean, that says a lot for team tactics at this level for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a big aerial game at the moment, a lot of contests in the air, but Trick Claw, as I'm going to call him, he's almost had a break for himself there. Forced the Wolfblood to keep it alive in the blue end. And Resurrection gets a good touch to push this into orange end, but not well enough to get out of the path of Tobinator. A minute and a half gone, we're still tied at 0-0. We're just waiting for
defenders and committing there. That could have been a problem for you.
Yeah, we're just waiting for this mistake to happen to give one of these teams the break, and that could have been it. It could be these double commits and that are going to cause the mistakes.
Oh, there's one.
There we go.
There.
And Trickler will get UEC on.
Oh no, it was Resurrection, sorry.
Oh, accidentally plays it into his own box, and Tello just can't get there in time, unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's one of those where it's hard to read your teammate, because like you expect him to clear the ball, but then he ends up getting a miss hit and then just centres it. But obviously you can't react quick enough because you don't expect it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think in that position, when you're back in goal, you're hoping your teammate's going to send it forward so you can push onto it, and I think that was the case there. And instead of it going forward, it dropped into the box for the opposition to put home. But Beansports are back in the same position again, 1-0 down. And if they reacted the same way they did in the last game, we're going to be expecting them to be pushing on the attack now.
Yeah, UEC I think they're quite comfortable to just sit back then, because they had a good opportunity for a shot when it got popped up right in front of Beansport's goal, but they decided to just sit back and just get boost and prepare for a defense.
And it's probably the smart thing to do at this point. I mean, they know that they won game number 1 just by 1, so they can do it all again. You know, just have to hold their defense, and they've been doing that well throughout this game and the last. So I think UEC's game plan at the moment is just to weather the storm of Beansports and shut them down.
Really nice one too. Just
Oh, and Resurrection now on the break, and he's gonna. Oh, and he puts off the post. Unfortunate for Resurrection. That could have been a tie game.
But those are the mistakes that we're talking about, not just in defence, but
just your general accuracy. But Resurrection, he's gonna redeem himself now and put that one away. And a good little solo play from him here. Yeah, Wolf's Blood just not managing to get in the way of it. And Tricklow in goal there, perhaps waiting for his teammate to get the clear, but wasn't expecting that to come bouncing down on him. And we've got a tie game with 1:38 left to go.
No, Wolf's Blood was a good clear onto the right wall. And he beats Chowie as well, but Resurrection back to the last line of defence. And then Teller leaving it for Trico. I guess I'm going to call him. Wolf's Blood was a good, attempted challenge, but Chowie wins both of the 50-50s, and Resurrection taking a shot and it's cleared by Trico.
Yeah, these players should just have simple names, so it's easier for anyone casting them. Yeah. Oh, and it was a good pass from Tello onto Resurrection there, not able to continue it on forward, but Chowie gets a good touch. Leaves this one for Resurrection, that's off the post and out to the side, but Tello's going to keep up the attack for Bean Sports. Doesn't manage to get round it. And UEC, time for them to attack now. Wolf's Blood gets blocked out by Chowie.
Yeah, that was good positioning by Chowie. He's just waiting on the halfway line. Now can he rotate back in time? No, Resurrection's there for him, so he doesn't need to. But as I was saying, it was good positioning by Chowie, because he was just waiting on the halfway line. He was waiting to see what UEC were going to do with the ball, and then as soon as they tried to put it into his own half, he just challenges the ball and wins possession for his team.
And yeah, and it's playing safe like that that's probably going to end up winning these guys the game at the moment. The Resurrection might.
Mistakes at the moment that are happening.
It looks like we're going to drop into overtime unless anything can be done just now.
It's been kept up, but Wolf's Blood couldn't get to it in time.
And UEC now just a goal away from moving on to the final. Resurrection trying to play this down off the wall. None of his teammates there ready to put it in. Chowie now tries to play it out, but blocked down by Wolf's Blood. And it's UEC on the defense now, as Beansporter continuing the attack. Tello misses out on pushing that one forward again. And UEC is going to turn this round and try and get a goal of their own.
No, that was a missed rotation there. Wolf's Blood had an opportunity to go for the ball, but Toganator gets in his way, so he just blocks his own teammate, and now Beansport possession, but never mind, they just UEC just got it back. And then it's turned over once again. So now it's in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like both these teams are kind of giving away possession a little bit too easily now, perhaps just getting a little bit anxious moving into overtime here.
Yeah, it's just back and forth.
Oh, and that's going to go all the way through for Chowie. And we're going to have a tight series here. Yeah, I think in the overtime there, both teams were just a little bit cautious on playing the ball forward and just ended up just back and forth between the teams a bit until eventually Chowie manages to push Bean Sports into the lead in this one, and we're going to have a tie series 1-1.
Yeah, it's a very close game, as we were saying, as we've been saying, as shown by the ranks and by the games at the moment as well. But both teams just got a bit desperate in the end, just to clear it and to push out to start trying to get the goal to win. So in the end they just ended up clearing it to each other constantly until one of them could clear it on the bounce, and that over commitment forwards led to an open goal.
And Bean Sports will take it, puts them into a nice position to try and move on to the final rather than drop down to the loser bracket now. And we're into our final game in this match. The winner of this will move on to the grand final. The loser will drop down into the lower bracket, and we will see them again in a couple of matches time in the lower finals. And of course, like all of our other double elimination tournaments, we don't have a bracket reset in this tournament. The upper bracket winner will start the grand final with a 1-0 lead. So whoever wins this match will be in a very good position for taking this tournament. And the loser will have a bit of a run still to go in the lower bracket to get back into it.
It's also quite interesting to see who's gonna in the lower bracket, because we have Bazaar down there as well, but we don't really know how they're.
Yeah, we've got a Bazaar, but they're also with a completely different lineup. I'm not sure if Mayotis is back in the squad yet, but Benjamin is rolling with two players that he hasn't entered threes tournaments with before, so that'll be interesting to see how Bazaar play. I'm glad to see that they're still in it. Just looking at the bracket now, we're going to have Bazaar up against Tilted Rocket Cars, which is another new team in Diamond League. So that'll be another interesting match. Basically two new teams completely, even though the recognizable name of Bazaar Esports is there. The only player that is still the same is Benjamin.
That was a good opportunity, good hit up by Wolfsburg, but no one could get on the end of it, and it was cleared away. And now it's a good challenge by Chowie, trying to centre something.
But Resurrection tries to keep it going. It's pinched out all the way into the blue zone, and Triclo is going to try and centre this. No one's there on it. Tello with a big clear.
Yeah, a lot of these games have just been clearing, just getting rid of it, and just trying to counter attack as quickly as possible, and countering on the mistakes as well. Because
and that's going to bounce all the way through for Triclo to take the 1-0 lead for UEC, and this bounces off the wall and straight out. I don't think anyone in the blue team was expecting this to drop all the way, and Tello at the last minute tries to get up for the save, but there's nothing he can do about it. And UEC again are going to take the lead. Every game so far, they've been the ones to draw first blood in each game.
That was just a really surprising goal. I don't even know what...
Yeah, it's not a goal that you expect to see at this level. I think perhaps the goalkeeper saw the other orange player in the air coming to take the shot and was maybe waiting to save a different shot that never came. So he was kind of rooted to the spot, and that one just bounced straight past him. But a goal is a goal, and UEC are 1-0 up in game 3.
That's a good pass by Tello, but intercepted by Wolfsburg. Probably going to try and get something off the backboard.
And Tobinator's centre waiting, but doesn't manage to get the pass through. And it's Resurrection and Chowie now pushing up the side. Wolfsblood having none of it. I'm noticing Bean Sports seem to be clumping up a little bit. Perhaps their positioning is not working out the best for them at the moment.
Yeah, also for that goal, the trickle, I think Tello probably had his boost taken either by his own teammates, maybe because of bad rotation, or either the other team stole it off them, which is either good play on UEC or it's negative both ways, because they're not rotating enough to be able to go for a save that should be really simple. Really.
Yeah, I think he was put into a position where he had two possible shots coming from different angles, and he didn't have the boost to deal with it at all.
Oh, it's
and
twice
UEC
in
just
a row then off the backboard, just hammering it onto the backboard, but nothing came in the end.
Oh, and this is a break for Triclo here. Bit of a misplay by Bean Sports, but he can't take advantage of it fully. But Wolfsblood, he had an open goal shot there, doesn't manage to get the power on it at all. A bit of a double commit there from UEC, but
because Wolfsblood's usually really good at getting those power clears, and then when you have an open net from like a really short distance out.
Oh, and that's off the post, and it's on the line still, and no one's able to clear it. Resurrection gets that one, ties us up with 30 seconds left to go. I think Tobinator was expecting that one to go wide, and there's not much Wolfsblood can do to get behind that one when it's bouncing along the line.
No.
Unfortunate there for the UEC defence, but Bean Sports will get themselves back into this game with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments where you're just stranded where you're just stranded because you can't try and stop it because it's rolling along your line.
Yeah,
So
there is nothing you can
do.
do. You can't get behind it quick enough, especially when you've got the other players waiting to squeeze it into the goal. There is really nothing you can do in that position.
And that's actually secured over. Well, it could have secured over time. You never know, but with 4 seconds left.
It looks like that is going to happen.
Say that it's going to be overtime.
And we will have overtime in the third deciding game of this match. We'll go down to overtime.
Yeah, it's been right down to the wire. This whole series.
Oh, and that was a close one. Resurrection doing well to push it to the side.
Resurrection actually getting a shot, and then Wolfsblood. That was a bit of miscommunication, I think, because Tobinator was going to go for it, but then Wolfsblood came across, but it still worked in the end because there's no one pushing from Bean Sports. And speaking of big players, there's another big player from UEC, which is what they've liked with the whole series, really. They just like to smack it up and chase it, but it has worked at the moment. It's just been a few unfortunate errors or just bounces off the post, just like before. It's just a bit unfortunate for Wolfsburg because the world player is rolling across the line. And now can Tobinator get a centre now? He just jumps off the wall. And Wolfsburg once again with a...
Tobinator trying to redirect that one down. Falls to Resurrection with a long shot and it's off the crossbar. Tricklo did well to squeeze that one off the crossbar to the side to get it out of danger. Tobinator with a clear.
Again from UEC. But once again, they managed to. UEC are recovering really quickly. Like even when they're making mistakes, they're just really good at getting back into position. Like if 2 players double commit, there's always at least 1 player back, or they're ready to stop the next play. If that makes sense.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Chowie now trying to look to send this one centre. Gets a nice little touch in it and that bounces into the top corner. Bit of an unorthodox goal from Chowie to seal this match here. I think he was looking for the centre ball, but managed to bounce it on top of the keeper.
Yeah, I don't think the goalie Tobinator expected that at all. Chowie just got the tiniest touch on the end. And then that just secures the game for Bean Sports.
And Bean Sports, they will move on to the grand final, and they will enter the best of 5 grand final with a 1-0 lead already in the match. UEC will drop down to the losers round 4, the losers final if you will, and they will play against either the winner of... They will play against either Bizarre or Tilted Rocket Cars, who will be our next match that's going to be coming up in 5 minutes time. I'm going to put this to a little quick break. I think we maybe have some mic volume issues to sort out. I've had a couple of messages, so we'll get that sorted. I'm going to throw this to another 5-minute timer window, and we'll be back with losers round 3 in around 5